Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. As usual, I am on my way to work. I have about 8 to 12 minutes to spare, and I decided to do a part 3 review of a private security company based out of Las Vegas, Nevada called Arcadia Security. I did part 1 a couple weeks ago. A couple days after that, I did a part 2, and the audience just demands a part 3. But those of you who are expecting me to go a certain route, I'm probably going to disappoint you today. So first, I need to apologize to Arcadia Security. And second, I got a lot of information, some intel that came in. I've got emails from people who actually work at Arcadia Security. I got former employees who have shown me emails from that company, photographs, a lot of information that you'd only have if you worked for that company. And what they're trying to do is establish their own credibility with this channel. There was a subscriber, a long-term subscriber, who was disappointed in one of the videos that I made. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to apologize to the hardworking men and women of Arcadia Security. In video number 1, I referred to Arcadia Security as the laughing stock of security. And I alienated some of my audience when I did so, because I have subscribers who work for Arcadia Security. If I'm calling Arcadia Security laughing stock, I'm bringing that concept to their employer. Now, guys, let me just show you my perspective real quick, and maybe you'll understand. I take training to the heart. This is my passion, is training. I'm not going to go into deep detail. I've already tried, and I could not maintain my composure. But I've buried friends from incidents that stem from the line of duty as law enforcement officers. And I know what happens when you're not situationally aware. So just because I don't want to lose my composure, let's just skip that. But that's what I felt when I made that statement, that Arcadia Security is the laughing stock of security. That's how I felt at the moment. That's how I felt based on the information that is coming in. But what I have to understand is that there's a certain way of delivery. That's how I felt, and sometimes the truth hurts, but I shouldn't have delivered those words in the way that I did. Again, I was just being honest. That's how I felt at that point in time. But there's a lot of hard workers over there. They work hard. They tolerate a lot of nonsense from clients and from other people. They put their life on the line. They're dedicated employees that work for Arcadia Security. So let me get that clear. I also understand that there's a following on this channel who I respect, who have different thoughts about Arcadia Security in a more negative light. Guys, and I'm talking to you, and gals, let's leave Arcadia Security alone in the comment section box. We'll just leave them alone. They've had enough. I did video number 1, number 2. If I continue to criticize this company, if there's anyone from that company still watching these videos, they're going to feel alienated and not make those improvements that they need to improve on. So please just leave them alone. I know that there's a lot of subscribers that are passionate about their work. They don't like what was going on with Arcadia Security. Guys and gals, let's just leave them alone, please. And I'm just asking you to do that. Arcadia Security, I'm going to do a little bit criticism of the industry, but I'm just generalizing as a whole. Feel free, if I give any wrong information that you believe is wrong, feel free to comment. But please realize that if you make a comment and you leave some information that leaves a bunch of other people having questions, I want if you're not answering any of those questions, I want everyone to consider the lack of response as a sort of response of I don't care. Because what ended up happening was I got some feedback by Arcadia Security. Remember, I did video number 1. I did a video where a subject was tasered after being questioned whether he had a warrant or not. He ran away. There was some high criticism on that event. Arcadia Security provided some state law codes, which didn't even help the whole situation. I mean, it didn't even help the fact pattern. It still didn't justify the event. And I still had more questions, and those questions were not even answered. So if you think that you're going to just post something just to get your word out, then I'm asking you not to post anything. I won't block you. Guys, realize I haven't blocked anybody from Arcadia Security. I let them continue to post as long as the comments, they're constructive. Now, I was slandered. Somebody called me a liar. If that's how you guys truly feel, I don't believe that you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, because I've made a lot of self-disclosures on myself. And then when I asked for some follow-up information on why you're calling me a liar, all of a sudden, all the comments just stopped. So what ended up happening was this video, well, the first 2 videos, was a topic of a discussion, perhaps in briefing, or perhaps leadership from Arcadia Security told Arcadia Security staff to not make any more comments, or you will be subject to discipline. Don't communicate with Sean or anybody in his channel, or you'll be subject to discipline. And we do have to realize that you do have to follow your employer's policy. So please respect that. But just don't think, oh wait, hey, I'm just gonna post something so that I can make a point and not respond back, because that's not the way it works. And guys, I want you to look, if anybody does that, I want you to just take it for what it's worth. The security officer that works for this organization reached out to me and apologized on the behalf of everyone else, but also mentioned that, hey, Sean, your criticism was harsh. You know, it's not the actual message, it's just the delivery of the message. And I agree. I could have done it a little bit differently. So thank you to that subscriber. Hopefully you accept my apology. I apologize for Arcadia Security. Hopefully you accept my apology. You don't have to if you're still watching the videos. I know that I did alienate you guys. But thank you for reaching out. You don't have to apologize on behalf of your coworkers, but that takes leadership, guys, to go out, reach to me, and apologize. So let's talk about training. Okay, if I hire within my company everybody at $17 an hour, I'm going to get somebody at the skill level that believes that they're worth $17 an hour. And that's a good entry level pay. You gotta realize that Las Vegas doesn't have income tax, and the cost of living is a lot cheaper than states like California and New York. So that might be a decent wage. This is the problem, though. I am limiting my talent to people who believe that their talent is worth $17 an hour. You guys follow me? Now, if you are retired military, or you're getting a disability benefit every single month, and I've seen some of the benefits that some of you guys in the military get, it's well deserved. But I'll tell you this: if I'm getting $4,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $17 an hour, especially for a job that's convenient to my home, it actually might be worth it. And I believe that Arcadia Security offers medical benefits, and there's some other benefit that they offer that actually might be worth it. If you're a retired law enforcement officer, retired correctional officer, and you're getting a pension, you're getting, again, $2,000 a month, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, $17 an hour might not be bad. It might not be bad. And the reason why I'm mentioning both of these careers is because in military and law enforcement, you have a significant amount of training, especially law enforcement. You learn how to de-escalate a lot of situations. And that would make your worth as a private security officer for this company, or for any company that pays $17 an hour, it would make you a lot more valuable. Moving on. In private security, the cheapest way, sometimes the most effective way to train your in-house staff is by having your employees who are already working out there, who are working in the field, sometimes your supervisor, having them be the trainers. And here's a problem. If my experience is limited to private security, or I started at this organization and I haven't really trained anywhere else or had experience with other companies or law enforcement agencies or military, my experience is going to be more or less limited to my experience in the company. And that might be a good thing, and sometimes it's also a bad thing as well. Just because you're a firearm instructor, and I'm talking to you guys that are firearm instructors, just because you're a firearm instructor, that doesn't mean that you're qualified to teach close quarter combat. And why do you need close quarter combat? You need close quarter combat skills to safely and effectively search an apartment or a building. If you don't have that training, then you can't do it safely, and you're endangering a lot of other people that are going in there with you. One of the safest ways to do this is by training. But look, if you started with this company or you had very limited exposure to close quarter combat situations, how are you supposed to train other people to do it safely? And the answer is you can't. I'm telling you, just because you're a firearm instructor, you're a pepper spray instructor, baton instructor, that does not qualify you to teach close quarter combat. It doesn't. These firearm instructor schools, even schools that are the 40-hour course, they don't go into deep detail on close quarter combat. Some of them don't even cover searching of buildings. One of the most common courses that you need to complete, at least based on what Mike Alvarez is telling me, in order to be a security officer instructor, you have to complete the 40 to 44-hour handgun law enforcement course. And I could tell you, in that course, we didn't practice any building searches. We did practice firing from positions of cover, but that was very limited. So if you don't have that training experience, how, and I mean how, are you going to train other people to do it safely? And the answer is you can't. A lot of these companies, they have field training officers. They have an FTO program, but many times this FTO program is only for the guys on the patrol level. As for a static post, a stationary post, sometimes based on the intel that I got, your training is based, it's based from the guy that you work with or the gal that you work with on shift. And sometimes those people are on probation. Also, there's security companies out there that they'll do in-house training, but they'll wait like 3 months or 4 months for you to actually be on the job for some time, just so that you don't leave. And what's happening is they train you, they believe that you're going to be with the company for a little bit or maybe a long time, and it's basically an investment in you. So if they believe that you're going to take off pretty soon, they're not going to spend resources on training you, and it does cost money. I mean, if you have an in-house trainer that also works patrol, that works supervision, you're going to have to pay that person overtime or flex that person's schedule. You're going to need, sometimes you have to print out paper. You got to do exams. You got to pay for the electricity to run the office or the area where you're doing the training at. And it takes time to file these papers so that when the regulatory board, when they do their inspection, that all that paperwork is available to them. This is all time consuming. So it is an investment. There's some companies out there that will charge you when you leave. Whether or not that is legitimate, that's topic of another story, but some of these companies do that. Okay, so that's all I have for this video, guys. Please leave Arcadia Security alone. Hopefully they'll be more receptive to this video. I do apologize again for referring to you guys in Arcadia Security as a laughingstock of security. Once again, that is how I felt at that point in time. And also just having memory flashbacks of friends that I have buried. I got a little bit disconnected with my frame of thought at that point in time. And you know, sometimes you shouldn't, if you believe in something, you shouldn't just blurt it out or say it so everybody can hear. So that's all I have. Looking forward to dialogue. You guys all take care. Be safe.